sort it out.
Over the years now of being a dealer and having experience with businesses in my past, I would categorize knife making, knife industry, knife makers as having like 3 goals. And I'm gonna actually have them be 3 F's. Basically financial, form, and function. And you hear these people all the time, people say like a knife has, you know, the form and function, and you'll see like some knife makers such as Anzo. It's great. He'll make a design that's artistic, and that's the goal. A lot of knife makers, it's about their creation, their style, their art. Tactical jewelry. For me, I'm not that foo-foo-y, so I don't really care. Second would be then function, and that's where I put my priority. And a lot of people don't like my videos because I have, you know, I show the function of a knife perhaps failing, you know, the quality of a knife, the lockup, sometimes just a bad design, a poor design choice. And that function to me is the most important because I think a knife should serve a purpose. It's a tool, it should serve somebody. If someone is thinking to buy it, to use it in an important moment in their life, or an important aspect during their day, I think the function becomes the bigger priority over form. Financial, I think, is a big thing. There's a lot of knife makers I just can't stand, just flat out. And it's because I just can't respect the way they do business. And I think a lot of people have encountered this in the knife industry. I think everybody at some point has a run-in with a company or a maker and has just received either disrespect or disregard, you know. The bigger companies, not so bad because it's a big company, it's professional, it's a business. But the individual knife makers, I mean, sometimes you can't even get, you know, the knife you want in time, you can't get the deadline. Even as a dealer, I've had these issues where I'm waiting like, you know, who knows how long, and I'm hearing all these excuses, and that's just really unprofessional. This is what kind of spurred me to then start making the knives myself. You guys know that I had a collaboration, the NK-SK, and there's only going to be those 13 made, and that's it. If I make the knife, I can guarantee the day and time it will arrive. I can inspect the quality. There's no flaw other than the flaw that I did, and I can tell you, and I will tell you, I will say this one I messed up on, and so I'll either like put it in a contest or, you know, sell it for way cheaper. But I like that. That's important to me because as a business, as financial, I like to keep my word. You know, as a Christian, my yes is yes, my no is no. That is an important belief that I follow. You guys know I like to donate and do charity work. I can't meet deadlines and help charities if I don't have a consistent income. And with me actually producing them, making them myself, I feel that I finally have more control over that. So that's why I really want you guys to understand that the 3 F's, financial, form, and function, where NK knives or where I come in. Okay, so I'm going to break down this knife. This is the NK Arbiter. This is the first prototype. The purpose of this knife was to be a just self-defense knife. It wasn't to do it to necessarily have this amazing survival tool or something that would, like, you know, cut wood all day long. It wasn't really that. It was specifically something that was lightweight, that was compact enough, but also giving you the solid grip and the solid, like, you know, the security, the stability in your hand, enough to actually defend yourself for real with it. The versatility of, I guess you would call deployment. Defend yourself with a knife and you're distracted. Putting your finger in a hole could be complicated. If you're moving around, your clothes are moving around, it's attached to your hip, worse, it's on your neck. It could be hard to get that hole. And there are a lot of, for example, a K-bar TDI knife where you're just grabbing a sort of like shape that you just put your finger into it. Your hand kind of finds it. But the second thing is that if I grab it this way, good. But what if I accidentally grab it this way? Just that happens. I've seen some people do this, so okay. Or I had this here. That's why I like this, because even though it's a Kiridashi, it's not really like a full-on blade. You're still getting decent cutting length, but that this area is safe to actually accidentally grab if you were to do that. And there's enough grip here, down here to hopefully secure it enough so that if you do accidentally do this, that wouldn't happen. That's important to me, that when you are messing with a fixed blade and you pull it out of a sheath, if you pull it out incorrectly, for example on the Foltz Minimalist, you can see here when you grab it, what if you accidentally did this? I'm not saying it will happen, but let's just say that happened by accident. For me, I think it's very important if you're going to use a compact knife for self-defense, or even a larger one, that the handle really just guide you into the correct position, or a safe handling position always. So in that sense, I'm going to have the sheath obviously try to block this area. So that was the first thing. I wanted a safe, quick, easy to access like deployment, and also reverse grip. I wanted one that I could grab in reverse grip and pull out. That's how I had it carried. Beyond deployment would be, I guess, then using it as a self-defense tool. You can see here the minimalist in knives like this, without a large flat portion, they can be rotated in your hand. There's nothing to stop that turning because there's no flat portion. The Silent Soldier is better because it has that flat portion. But on the new Silent Soldier, Mr. Browse added a little guard there because of this lack of, you're really only holding with 3 fingers. At most 3 fingers. And you're relying on, this won't rotate, but you're now relying on this round portion sitting in your hand to not come over. And it's just that feeling, especially then in this grip. Luckily it kind of, your finger falls in there, but it kind of, I don't know, it just feels kind of awkward. Definitely can't do that with the minimalist. Reverse grip minimalist is the same issue as before. And the Silent Soldier and reverse grip, the hard part about this is that when you're trying to use the Silent Soldier for me as like, okay, say for example I want to just switch it now. I don't know, I just have to go through like a song and dance. I don't know if there's a trick to this, but in terms of say if you're just out and about, outdoors, you're cutting, moving, using your hands. This is why I like this, the little, I guess it was called, that little hole there that kind of helps you pivot around. But also now there's this large portion right here that keeps it from moving around. And you can actually see here, it can be almost basically a 4-finger grip. Because actually, your finger does catch this. And you'll see on the final version, it's more prominent. Right now, I'm going to be making these out of titanium because that is, I want it to be a self-defense, lightweight knife, low maintenance. Carbonize the edge. And traditionally, a kiridashi is like a nice utility knife. You can see on some of these, the thickness of the Silent Soldier, the edge geometry is pretty bulky. It's good for shallow utility cutting. That's great. The minimalist has this really thin, nice profile, but the minimalist then compensates by the thin blade stock by having a handle. I didn't want to have a handle because I don't want any small parts, anything that would break. I want to be able to have extra durability. And again, I'm trying to just save overall the weight, but have a strong blade too, because minimalist, you can kind of almost like bend it in your hand, and I don't want to be able to bend the knife. I want to be able to stab something that's hard. Some younger girls or smaller people with smaller hands, women, they have a problem right here because maybe less bulk to their finger, but it's just not supportive enough. So in the adjustments, you'll see I'll explain what I did there. You can do so much with it in reverse grip. You still have a lot of accessibility. I can shift and drive because believe it or not, I would drive my car, which is I only like stick shift, and I'll drive my manual transmission cars with this in my hand. And then see, even with gloves on, if I'm using the knife and then suddenly have to go and switch it to where then I'm using my hand and not have to take my knife and put it away, that was important. Now, in this video, I'm not going to talk about the sheath and stuff because I still got to work on that. Now, as I would test this and give this to people, some people would hold it like this because that little notch right there actually does catch your finger, and it actually does feel secure enough to hold this way. And I guess just some people were like automatically inclined to do this. I was surprised. I was not, I kind of noticed that just after designing it and making it, holding it, that happened. And so there were some hot spots. I was thinking originally like a Strider, the back of like a Strider knife, and plus I just wanted that kind of more, I guess, geometric shape. The way the Strider knife sits in your hand is because you have these bones here, and it's really sitting in that structure of your hand. It's not comfortable, true. Curving it down there, I mean, it's just that point in your hand. To me, it's not, I don't know, it's not great, but it's not horrible, but it definitely, but that's the best you can do. I mean, you have a corner, you have a round end. The round end feels better than the corner. Second version, I lowered the hole down over into the hole design like this way, which then opened up this hole, which allowed more for glove work and just more ease of use right there. If you have a glove, it's easy to put your finger through still. But then also because when it lowered, it provided more grip or more width here, so that when a girl or someone with a small hand was holding it, it would feel more secure in there. You see here on the holes, the hole that you use to reposition, that one is like a Spyderco Taiwan made hole. It's kind of got the sharp edges because I want it to grip in your hand. I want your finger to catch it. So in that sense, that is now a larger hole to manipulate. But then on the back hole, obviously that's just for paracord. Did the Chris Reeve things, I love that, where if you tie it tight enough, it just sticks straight out and it doesn't like move around as much, so it stays as like an extension of the handle. And you can see here, so that's why it's in the center of that straight portion. You know, there's a need for certain types of knives, and it came to a compact fixed blade for self-defense that was like very utility-like. I felt there wasn't anything meeting that, and so I created this. And I really like this design. I hope you guys like it too. I think it fits a lot, like being able to use your hand so much and utilize it so many ways. Glove with the glove on, with the glove off. The fact that it'll be titanium will be really light. And then also, like, you know, just the kind of tactical aspects to the utility aspects, the versatility, form and function. Especially function is always going to be a primary goal for me. Every single design element has a function, like just this area here, to all of this, you know, the reasoning. There's a reasoning behind all of it. And then compared to some of the alternatives you can see here, it actually unintentionally is like about basically the same size as the minimalist, just like a millimeter or two longer. You know, you can kind of compare the performance. Minimalist is really going to slice, but it's not like heavy duty. This one is a little bit more, especially with the bulk, you know, a little more simplicity, different materials, but you can see there's the Arbiter. And then here's the Silent Soldier. So these are just kind of comparison of compact self-defense fixed blades. TDI knife is, to me, kind of loppy. That's a little bit larger still. And so you got Silent Soldier. You can see the difference in the versatility and the use. And you know, this one, I do like the new one with the guard. But even then, you know, the overall cutting length that you can use, this area, the position of it doesn't really get any use, so it's kind of pointless. So that's why I just got rid of it. And then also, you know, this one, being able to manipulate in your hand easily or something, kind of switch tasks, just, I don't know. And it's not secure necessarily a 4-finger grip. It just kind of, so in that sense, you can see that maybe my thinking on the difference between these two. See, there's even more handle. I mean, the usable cutting length is, you know, really, look at that. It's the same thing as, in terms of like, I mean, yeah, there's an actual longer edge because of the curve, but you get what I'm trying to say. Edge geometry. This is a little more, this is more slicey, I guess you could say, than this one. And then definitely not compared to this one, but different in purpose. It's gonna be probably 5mm thick titanium. Just because I don't want to lose any more width in your hand. So definitely 5mm thick is what it's going to be. So those are my little comparisons. You can kind of see these three knives. And,